Raiders. Salute to everyone pulling up. What's going on, you guys? This is another edition of the Real Raiders Talk with your host, Raider Ed, part of Raiders Primos. My primo Nate. I sent him the link. I don't know what's going on today. He probably got something going on, but all is well because we still is going to be dropping another video. Today, we are going to talk about a recap of the Raiders and the 49ers. Is Aiden O'Connell the future of the Las Vegas Raiders? With the running back signing today, we had Dalvin Cook. We had also Ezekiel Elliott. I believe they signed yesterday. Does Josh Jacobs need to sign his tag? Also, based off Sunday's performance, is the Raiders defense different like Max Crosby claims? Shout out to everyone pulling up. If you guys are not subscribed to Raiders Primos, please hit that subscribe button. We are closing in on 400. Also, hit that like on the way in. Also, hit the bell so you guys can be notified when we drop new videos, when we are going to go live, and you guys will be first in the room. Also, shout out to the numbers for pulling in. Shout out to you, man. Also, you guys, spread the love, spread the link. You guys got friends. You guys got family. Anyone who likes to talk Raiders ball, send them the link. I know they want to get in here, talk some Raiders football. I love talking Raiders football. I love talking with the nation. I love debating. I love agreeing to disagree. I love all that. So the more opinions, the more comments we get in here, the more fun this is going to be for all of you guys. And I mean, it's already fun for me, but let's get it more fun up in here. We got Sean Johnson over here. Yeah, so many. There's a lot. I know my boys Graf and Hammer, they got their call-in show going on right now. We got Big Mike later tonight at 8:00. If you guys have not known, go tune into my brother Big Mike. He is going live today at 8. I know I'm gonna be in the room. I'm gonna hear what he has to say. And I'm excited, man. I think we are all excited for what happened Sunday. And let's see if we can transition that into the joint practices going on today. Or not going on today, going on tomorrow and going on Thursday. Who is going to the game Saturday? I wish I could make it out there, the numbers, but I won't. I wonder if Big Mike might go. You know, he lives out in LA, but he also just went to a game on this past Sunday. Real quick, you guys, real quick. Let's get into it. Let's start it off with this Aiden O'Connell talk, you guys. Now, I will say this. A lot of people I'm seeing, like, they're saying, could this be a Derek Carr, Matt Schaub situation to where Aiden O'Connell, based off his preseason, and he plays well, is he going to beat, Jimmy Garoppolo for the starting quarterback job? And I want people to realize that's not going to happen. And here's why. In 2014, Matt Schaub had a terrible preseason. He threw, I believe, 2 picks in the preseason, and he didn't even have a touchdown to show for it. Derek Carr, on the other hand, he had about 6 touchdowns to, I believe, 2 interceptions in 2014's preseason. And that is the reason why Derek Carr won the starting job, is because Matt Schaub was in there during the preseason games. He played snaps, and he played horribly. And Derek Carr was the clear-cut better quarterback out of them too. With Jimmy Garoppolo and Aiden O'Connell, it's a total different situation. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't even seen the field in the preseason. Now, if Jimmy Garoppolo went into the preseason game, let's say this past Sunday against the 49ers, and he completely shit the bed, and then you put Aiden O'Connell in there, and he completely, puts up the numbers that he did, then there might be some quarterback controversy too. If Aiden O'Connell performs for these next 2 games and he outperforms Jimmy Garoppolo, there could be a chance that he may get the starting job. But Aiden O'Connell is not going to start for the Las Vegas Raiders week 1. He is not. Is he going to start this season? Possibly. Depends if Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy or if the Raiders already clinch a playoff spot and they want to, sit Jimmy Garoppolo to keep him healthy for the postseason. But other than that, Aiden O'Connell, out of the top drafted quarterbacks in the week 1, we're going to compare and contrast. So with Aiden O'Connell, this was his numbers. He had 15 completions to 18 attempts, 83.3 completion percentage, 141 yards passing, 7.8 average, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. His longest pass of the day was 21 yards, and he had a quarterback rate, a passer rating of 117.8. Compare that to Bryce Young, who had 4 completions, 6 attempts, 66.7 completion percentage, 21 yards passing, 3.5 average, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 8 was his longest pass of the day, and he had a passer rating of 72.2. CJ Stroud, who everyone was high on, even me, was hoping the Raiders can somehow snag CJ Stroud. He had 2 completions for 4 attempts, had a 50 completion percentage, 13 yards passing, 3.3 yards average, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. His longest pass of the day was 8 yards, and he had a passer rating of 17.7. Anthony Richardson, who another guy a lot of Raider Nation was high on, had 7 completions, 12 attempts, 58.3 completion percentage, 67 yards passing, 5.6 average on passing yards. He had 0 touchdowns to 1 interception. Had his longest pass of the day was a 20-yard pass and a passer rating of 39.2. So this begs the question. What's going on, Elite? Salute to you. Salute to you. We got, Elite, you are gonna be the first female Raiders content creator, and you're gonna just blow up it immediately. I know it. And I think Graf knows it, all of my Shieldmore knows it. So guys, when Elite comes out with her channel, y'all better go hit them subs, hit them likes on all the videos that she's gonna be posting, because I know there's gonna be something coming up. But salute to you, Elite. Salute to Sean Johnson. He's like, bro, I always got the notes. I always got the notes. And like I said, Aiden O'Connell, obviously, when it comes to the top quarterbacks taken, he outperformed them in his first NFL game. Again, 15 for 18, 83.3 percentage, 141 yards, 1 touchdown, 117.8 passer rating. You cannot ask for any more from Aiden O'Connell, but it goes deeper than that, you guys. It goes deeper than that. Aiden O'Connell, since 2010. Since 2010. Let me see. I have it in my notes here. Give me a sec, you guys. I got so many notes that you guys can't even count. Or I can't even count. Sorry. Damn, I can't find it. I thought I had it. But besides that, Aiden O'Connell had the best. He had the best, I believe it was quarterback rating. Let me see if I can find it here. I know it's here. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Found it. This is coming from nation_most_hated. This is by PFF. Shout out to PFF. Aiden O'Connell was the highest graded offensive rookie with a 92.3 after preseason week 1. But on top of that, you guys, it goes deeper than that. What's more impressive, and shout out to Sean Johnson again for sending me this. What's more impressive, it's in the last 10 years, Aiden O'Connell is the best graded rookie quarterback in the last 10 years. Think about that, you guys. In the last 10 years, Aiden O'Connell is the highest graded rookie quarterback, beating out the last quarterback that was the highest rated rookie in a preseason. He beat out none other than Patrick Mahomes, who was graded as a 91.8. Think about that, you guys. Aiden O'Connell, who is a 4th-round pick, was a walk-on at Purdue, had a career year at Purdue with not a really talented offense as he would with the Raiders. Now, this is an overreaction. This is an overreaction. But Aiden O'Connell, do you guys feel comfortable if something happens to Jimmy Garoppolo? If something was going to happen, is Jimmy Garoppolo backup Aiden O'Connell gonna come in and still have the same success as a Jimmy Garoppolo would? Now, this begs the question: what is the success with Jimmy Garoppolo? Now we know what we're going to get with Jimmy Garoppolo. You're gonna get a guy who is going to be better in the red zone, something the Raiders really struggled in the red zone. He is accurate with the football. I know a lot of people knock on Jimmy Garoppolo with that, but he is very accurate in between the numbers and intermediate and small passes. His deep pass game was never like something that he had. He never had that. This is why guys like Kyle Shanahan and even Josh McDaniels, they play to their quarterback strengths. Now, if you guys go check out a video, Sean Johnson sent it to me, and I want you guys to go check it out. It is the QB school, and there's film study on Aiden O'Connell from the Sunday game. And the one thing that stood out to me after watching that film study, Aiden did not play like a rookie. Now go back and watch his film work. Why do I say Aiden O'Connell did not play like a rookie? He didn't play like a rookie because most of the rookies go to CJ Stroud, go to Anthony Richardson, go to Bryce Young. Watching them play, they were nervous. You could tell they were nervous. They had the butterflies in their stomach. They were holding on to the ball too long, taking sacks, making ill-advised throws. I don't know if you guys checked out the Anthony Richardson interception. That, my God, was the worst interception I ever seen, other than Derek Carr's interception versus the Rams in 2018. That was by far the worst interception I've seen since then. And that was a poor decision, poor throw. But then you look at Aiden O'Connell, the poise he had in the pocket, the way he commanded the pocket. When pressure was in his face, he didn't seem phased. He stepped up in the pocket. He moved around in the pocket, moved to his right. That throw, the fathering, I think it was fathering him that he hit to get them in the red zone on the first drive. He shifted a little bit to his right, pressures in his face, and he made a beautiful, accurate throw. His first pass to Trey Tucker. I mean, the man was accurate. He was accurate all game. He had 3 incompletions. His footwork by far, my goodness, you guys, please go check out the quarterback school on YouTube. Go check out Aiden O'Connell's film study and look at his footwork. Look at the footwork. His footwork by far, he was not playing like a rookie, you guys. Let me get some more of the chat. Orlando Padilla, what's good with you, man? What's good with you? Elite says, I hope so. I love the Raiders. Thank you for your support. Of course, Elite. I can't wait. I'm gonna be one of the first subs on there. I'm gonna make sure. Aladdin, salute to you, man. What's going on, family? Hashtag Raider Nation. Elise says, I am willing to roll with him if Jimmy goes down. He has the concept of the offense already. His college offense is similar to ours. And I'm glad you said that, Elite, because the one thing about the quarterback school, you're going to hear this over and over. Josh McDaniels went back to the well. He went back to the well. He stuck to the plays that was working for Aiden O'Connell. And the play that was working was the San Francisco 49ers were playing an empty backfield. They're playing a single high safety, and they're playing with press man most of the time. And when they're playing zone, it still killed them because the route concept that Josh McDaniels was running was a lot of ins and outs, mostly a lot of ins towards going through the defense. Again, go check it out. He dissects it better than I could. Of course, I don't have the all-22 film. My guys, Aiden O'Connell, I'm going to say this right now. If he comes out against the Rams and he has another game the way he had against the 49ers, there's not going to be quarterback controversy, but the Raiders may have found their future quarterback in Aiden O'Connell. Now, this is where it's funny because I got into a debate. Like I said, I love debates. I got into a debate with another Raider fan that said Aiden O'Connell is a backup at best in 3 years. He is going to be a backup at best in 3 years. He stated he would rather possibly the Raiders to go get Caleb Williams. Now, let's all be honest. Raiders are not going to get Caleb Williams unless they totally have a terrible season. And I mean a terrible season, a 2-15 season. They have to go get a guy like Caleb Williams. Here's where my issue is with that. What is they falling out of a 2-15 season? You fire Dave Ziegler, you fire Josh McDaniels because that is the likelihood that is going to happen. You fire your GM and you fire your head coach. Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be here. He's likely probably because new head coach, new GM, totally new regime again. They're going to, get rid of the guys that wasn't here, and they're going to bring in the guys that they want here and maybe keep some guys that they want here. But for the most part, brand new, different team. It's going to be a brand new, different team, and this is what we call a full rebuild. Now, this fan had the confidence that Caleb Williams is a quarterback that will elevate the talent, and it's not going to matter what coach, what GM comes in, because Caleb Williams will elevate the talent. Doesn't matter who's in and who's out there. Caleb Williams will elevate the talent that's on the Raiders. And here's where I gotta push back at that. Just because he's having hype in college does not mean he can translate that to the NFL. I'm not taking anything away from Caleb Williams' game. I'm not taking away that he is one of the top quarterback prospects in the 2024 NFL draft. But I will say this. You do not throw away a season and go 2-4 unless that's really what your team is, 2-15. This is not a 2-15 team. This is not a 2-15 team. This is not a team that should be holding the first overall pick come the 2024 NFL draft. And if they are holding the first overall pick, then yes, I agree. Go get Caleb Williams. But the thing is, why? Why go get a guy when you don't have to go get that guy? That's my pushback. Yeah, is Jimmy Garoppolo that quarterback that can elevate talent around him? Probably no. But we got Devontae Adams. We got Josh Jacobs, who I believe will come back before week 1. Michael Mayers, he was a top tight end prospect coming out of college, and hopefully we can see some game time in the preseason. See what if it does. Like I said, if it translates to the NFL level, people calling him Baby Gronk, hyping him up. Can he translate what he did in college to the NFL level? If he does, that's another weapon for Jimmy Garoppolo. You got Jesper Horsted, who is a good receiver here and there from little game film that I watched on him. You also got Austin Hooper, who is not a scrub. He's been with the Atlanta Falcons, with the Tennessee Titans, and he was once one of the top 5 tight ends in the league in 2016. Yes, 7 years ago, but still, he can get it done in the NFL. Then Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow. My point is, you got playmakers on the offense side of the ball. Why go get a quarterback when you already have a quarterback to groom in Aiden O'Connell? Like, why give up on Aiden O'Connell so fast after one game? Yes, I know a lot of people are hyping him up, and a lot of people are sitting him because of his jersey number. But my thing is give this guy a year to get groomed under Jimmy Garoppolo, under Josh McDaniels, and see what he can bring in year 2. If he looks better in year 2, why not plug him in? Because for all we know, people said Tom Brady was at best a backup quarterback 3 on the roster. I know no one's going to compare to Brady. My point is, just because Aiden O'Connell was drafted where he was at in the 4th round doesn't mean that he's going to play like a 4th round pick. He could possibly be the best quarterback in this draft, and we just got to steal. Like, can't we just root for the guy? Can't we hope that I thought we was tired of losing. Like, that's my thing. I thought we were tired of losing. Shouldn't we root for our quarterbacks? Shouldn't we root for our team to go out there and win football games on Sunday? Because I don't know about you guys. I am tired of waking up Sundays, hyped as hell for a Raider game, and I go to sleep angry as a motherfucker because the Raiders lost. I don't know about you guys. But I get pissed. Like, I get full on pissed. I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm in my depression state, and I want to go lay in my bed and don't talk to me until next week. I'm not going to watch ESPN. I'm not going to watch NFL Network. Hell, shout out to you, Graf, but I'm not going to watch you either because I don't want to hear nothing about the Raiders. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My boy Graf and Big Mike and all the content creators, but I'm going to keep watching them. But my point is, I want to see the Raiders succeed. And isn't that what a fan isn't that what a fan is? You want to see your team succeed. Why? Just because you want to be right, why? That means you want to see your team not succeed. You want to see your team fail and fail to the point they are the worst team in football just so you can be right. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Let me get into these comments because I know I'm a little behind. Shout out to the 11 in the chat. Thank you guys for pulling up. Continue sharing the link around, sharing the love. We're going to get to 400. We're trying to get to 400 before the season starts. It's a little, it's the odds are against me. The odds are against me and Nate, but we're going to get there. I know we're going to get there. If not, hey, we're still going to get to 400. Shout out to Van City. Primos, do you have any idea how good it felt watching a quarterback play on Sunday wearing the number 4 on Sunday? Instead of running all over the field, getting sacked and throwing 14 interceptions. And the thing is, Van City, I'm not going to use this as a excuse for Derek Carr. But I really truly believe that he's not the quarterback that fits this system. The system is fit for Jimmy Garoppolo and Aiden O'Connell. This is why they're going to succeed. It's because the system is going to fit the quarterback. All they got to do is be accurate. This is the one thing I said last season. Derek, all you have to do is be accurate with the football, and you have to hit your receivers in stride. You have to hit your receivers in stride. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of circus catches. You're not going to get a lot of yak yards. And that was a problem with me. Also, you guys, I got a special guest in the building. My guy, Severe Raider, in the building.
What's good?
What's going on,
Severe?
What's
good? What's poppin', man? How y'all feeling?
Feeling great. I was going to ask you, how you feeling about Sunday's win against the 49ers? I know it's preseason, but from a standpoint, if we're watching our young guys, watching our death pieces, what really stood out to you?
Man, it's always good to get a win, man. You always want to start off building winning habits. When it comes to preseason, you're not necessarily looking at wins and losses, but you're looking at how guys are going out there and performing, right? Are guys rallying to the ball? Are their technique looking good? Do they have an understanding of where they're supposed to be on the field? Are they committing dumb penalties, like stuff like that? So even if we would have took the L, as long as you see the guys doing those things, like those foundational things, then preseason can be a success. We went 3-0 last year, and then you see what happened. So when I look at preseason, I'm not necessarily looking at the record. I'm just looking at individual performances and by key people, especially the depth on the offensive line looked good, depth on the defensive line looked good. The depth in the secondary looked good. Aiden O'Connell looked real good. Zeus was hit or miss. Sincere played pretty well, but that's stuff I'm looking for, right? Is key people and key things that I'm honing in on, man. So I was happy with the performance last week, and let's see if we can kind of continue the same thing this week against the Rams.
Yeah, touch a little bit more on Aiden O'Connell. He is, of course, the hype name right now.
Yes.
Because of his performance on Sunday, and rightfully so. He's other than Stetson Bennett, because Stetson Bennett actually had a pretty good game also. But other than that, Aiden O'Connell had a really good game. For me, this speaking me personally, I want to see more. I want to see more what he got, of course. But just based off his performance, what was the one thing that you picked up on Aiden O'Connell that really was like kind of that MVP of his performance? Was it his footwork, his accuracy, his pocket presence? Like, what really stood out to you with Aiden?
So I think the biggest thing that stood out for me was his poise. Whether that was in the huddle, whether that when he was dropping back, when he was under pressure, it was never a situation where he looked panicked or he looked rushed. Everything he was working at the proper pace. You know, they couldn't speed him up. And when you're kind of in that zone where, you know, you're moving at your methodical pace and, you know, nothing can really speed you up, then, you know, that's when that's when you play your best. You know, that's what a lot of guys struggle with and, you know, coming to the NFL is that, you know, they struggle with the speed of the game. That's the first thing they say. Like, man, these dudes are fast. Dudes are fast. But it seemed like he was okay, you know, working at that speed and you know, they really couldn't speed up his processing. He wasn't panicking. You know, he dropped back, man. He went through his progressions and he delivered the ball on time and accurate. So, I mean, that was the big thing I was looking at. One thing I will say is that, you know, the two best rookie quarterback performances this past week were by Aiden O'Connell and Stetson Bennett. And those guys have two things in common. They are older prospects, right? Aiden O'Connell is 24. I think he turns 25 in September. I forget how old Stetson Bennett is. Stetson Bennett is around that same age.
He's like,
yeah,
exactly. I'd say he's like 27, 28.
Like, you know, I ain't seen a rookie quarterback that old since oh boy, I forget my man's name. Damn, I forget the guy's name.
No, Stenson's gonna be 26 in October.
So Stenson's gonna be 26. Okay, so yeah. But so you know, conversely, I think CJ Stroud is 21, turning 22. So he has like, you know, and like Trey Lance is like just turned 23. So like Aiden O'Connell, he's a more mature guy. He's a grown man already. Yeah. So and same thing with Bennett, right? These are like grown men. So you know, I think that has something to do with it in terms of their maturity and how they were able to kind of process and handle the moment. And those are also guys that play a lot of football, especially you know, Aiden O'Connell. He came from a college program. I think he was there 6 years. I think he took a COVID year, so I want to say he was there 6 years. And he came from an offense where he threw the ball a lot. And one thing I was saying before is that, you know, he played for Purdue in the Big Ten. So at no point was he ever on a team where like he had more talent than his opposition. He was always playing against teams that had much more talent than him. So so that kind of prepared him, right, for these kind of moments, because he's kind of used to not having, not having the best talent around him or talent that was superior in his opposition. So, but, you know, needless to say, it was still I don't want to take anything away from dude. I want to take nothing away from him. That was still, at the end of the day, you got to go out there and you still got to perform. And he went out there and he performed better than, you know, any other prospects that were rated ahead of him, man. So I'm just hoping he can keep stacking these performances together, man. And if so, you know, we might have something. Might have something.
And that's the thing that I'm hitting on is that with Aiden O'Connell, people talk about, it's preseason. It's preseason. He's going against rookies. He's going against backups. Like, I want to see how he plays against starters. Well, the thing is, people think these rookies and, you know, third stringers and second stringers. Yes, I would say they are there for a reason. They are second strings, third stringers for a reason. But at the end of the day, most of these guys, when it comes to the preseason, they're playing for their jobs. They're playing for their lives. So they're going to play with some intensity out there as if they were starters. So, like you said, the way Aiden commanded, like he did not play he played like a veteran. Like he played the game already. And that's what you need. You know, that's what you need. He handled himself very well. And like you said, in the pocket, it's like when the play was in, the play was in the huddle and they were like ready to line up. Like there was no, you know what I also noticed? Not a lot of times he snapped the ball with like 1 second left on the play clock.
No.
Like that was another thing that would make me upset with our former quarterback is that it's like the play got in too late or something. Like we didn't know what was going on. And like I said, I don't know when people are going to know that it's just different systems. Like Carr, if he's, because I see Carr flourish with the Saints. Hey, that's good for him. You know, he flourished with the Saints, probably better system with the Saints. That's probably why he might have a good season. Also, his division is straight up ass. Let's just be keep it about. But back to Aiden. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna. It's still unknown. Let's see what we get. You know, the reports with this joint practice, and let's see how he looks on Saturday. And then it's gonna still go from there, because the one thing the Raiders also struggled with is consistency. Whether that was the defense, quarterback, wide receivers, the team in general, they struggle with consistency. So if we see the same performance that we seen Sunday on Saturday, not just from Aiden, but shout out to Super Omicron. Let's talk about this defense because they said, what stood out? Those turnovers, pressures, and sacks. Talk about starting the game off with a bang. You get a sack on the very first play of the game, and you get 2 sacks on the first drive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, Severe, let's talk. We talked about this defense, and that's our question mark going into 2023. So, I know this ain't the starters. This isn't the starters. This is more of our depth pieces. But still, seeing this from the depth pieces, we can only imagine what the starters will bring in this defense.
Yeah, man. And these were twos versus twos. So it's not like, like going back a little bit back to Aiden when I say, oh, these are just backups and third stringers. Well, Aiden was also playing with backups and third stringers. So, you can't take nothing away from, not like he was out there with the ones and beating up on backups. He was out there with twos and threes as well. And his defense, man, they came out, you can tell they came out on a mission. They came out to prove something. And John Jenkins, Rochelle, Rochelle, look at Adam Butler, look good out there, man. Bernie looked very good out there. The secondary looked great. We should have had 2 interceptions. It was constant pressure on the quarterbacks, man. I'm really, really seeing the things that I really wanted to see, man. It's like these guys are they're playing with a different level of intensity this year, man. Playing with a different level of intensity, man. Even from last year, the backup guys last year, the intensity level from this defense is much different. And I think that, I think that's going to translate to the regular season, man, because all these dudes are battling right now. They are battling, and you can see where the coaching is taking over. Like on that play where Curtis Bowden forced the fumble, right? He was going for the football. He went in there. He went in there with not to just tackle the guy. He went in there to cause a fumble, and that's the type, and that's coaching right there, right? That's being drilled in their heads, practice after practice, rep after rep. We are here to get the ball back for our offense, or we are here to score points ourselves. And now that type of stuff is ingrained in their brain, so they're just going out there, and that just becomes habit, right? So when you start drilling that stuff in their head, and it becomes a habit. And then at that point, it's just second nature. And then that's when we start, really, really executing that stuff on Sundays, man. And so I was excited to see it, man. Excited to see it.
Yeah, one thing that I think, other than if I'm going to name one thing that's, not common, that's like with pressures, turnovers. The one thing I said that stood out to me with the defense, like you said, they're flying around the football. I want to ask the nation this. I want to ask you, did you guys see one Niner wide receiver that was wide open that we ever had like a busted coverage?
Nah, man.
On Sunday?
If people was cooking Aziz Hearn, man, even on that first pass they completed to Aziz Hearn down the sideline, he was in perfect position.
There was nothing he can do.
It was a great throw. It was just a great throw. And then, other than that, I didn't see any real busted coverages, man. It was just, those guys were where they were supposed to be. Sometimes just got beat by better plays, but it was, scratch that. I saw one busted coverage, and that was and it actually worked in our favor. It was in the on the interception that Sam Webb had. It looks like I don't know. I think that was Conley. Looks like we were running like a cover 3 cloud, and Conley carried his man too far, and he was out of position. So that left the receiver wide open in front of Sam Webb. But the dude ended up dropping the ball. Sam Webb picked it off and took it for 3 yards. So it actually worked in our favor. But Conley's not a guy that's going to be on this team. So I'm not. That's not stuff I'm really worried about.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at too. Like, and it seems like that's where that prevent defense kind of came out a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, they're just thinking too much. For the most part, I mean, I like one play that you can learn off from, then you're getting cooked the entire game.
Exactly.
Like that's what I'm used to. I'm used to that Raiders defense where they're marching, they're making a backup quarterback look like Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Like
man,
100% completion, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's like, bro, but what I love is no catch, no throw was easy. The pocket always was collapsing. Like it seemed like it was always collapsing. The pressure, the D-line did kind of fall off in the second half. I think we had 4 sacks in the first half, 0 in the second.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, we could tie that to third stringers, but still for me, I don't care who you are. You want to make a 53-man roster, you got to go out there and get some
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah. Right.
But for the most part, I love from what I've seen from this defense. And again,
Man.
it just makes me hype what these starters are doing because, yeah, the starters are not playing preseason, but let's tie it to the joint practices.
Exactly.
To the Niners.
Exactly.
These starters were making it in like what? We had like 10 interceptions one day by our starters, by Spillane, Peters, Masterson. Like,
yeah.
If that's what is going to translate, Russell Wilson, donkeys, I'll be afraid if I were you guys. And I think Max Crosby set the tone for the 2023 defense of the Raiders.
Man,
the
Broncos better be scared. The Broncos better be scared, man.
His defense is different, and he's tired of missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, this defense came out hungry. They came out to prove a point. I think that's going to translate with the starters too. And we seen the last defense that I've seen that had that kind of energy was the 2015 Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
A defense that was out to prove and make a name for themselves. It's not that they didn't think they knew they were good, but they played with that confidence out there that, hey, we know we're good, and your plays are gonna have to be better than ours. And for the most, they went on to win a Super Bowl championship. I know they're our rivals, but that is what this defense reminds me of. Not saying they're gonna be like them, but you gotta have that confidence, you gotta have that energy. And bro, I'm excited, but I want to see it for the next two games.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, it says comment because I was listening to the 49ers broadcast because I couldn't get the Raiders broadcast for whatever reason. And yeah, Greg Papa kept saying that the Raiders had the starters and they were crying and moaning about we had the starters and Josh McDaniels is playing to win this game. And I'm like, bro, stop making excuses, okay? Y'all getting your asses whipped.
Yeah, man. Greg Papa's still in his feelings, man. Bro, you got fired. The nation didn't want to see you leave, but the Ray organization made a business decision to let you go as they were transitioning to the Las Vegas market, man. So you can't be upset about that, man. Like don't be in your feelings about it. Y'all got stomped on. It was preseason. It's preseason.
Yeah.
Just take your L like a man. Dust yourself off. You bleed. Just all I gotta say, man.
Yeah. I do want to bring some news out. We do have breaking news this morning. It came out. Las Vegas Raiders placed Brandon Parker on the injured reserve. He is going to be out for the second straight season, you guys. And the reason why I bring that up is the Raiders offensive line versus the 49ers. We got Justin Herron, who had one pressure, and it was a terrible sack. Like,
that's sack,
I remember,
man.
Oh my gosh, Farrell. I'm like, bro, you lost to Farrell, like you getting cut right then and there. Like,
Clee cooked him, man.
Yeah, Clee cooked. I mean, taking nothing away from Clee, but my goodness, you're on a different team for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, Herron, he lost that. You got everyone else. They allowed, like, literally everyone else allowed 0 pressures.
Yeah.
The only one that allowed that one sack. The reason why I bring that up is you got right tackle Thayer Munford, who had played 23 snaps. They were all at right tackle. He had a 68.8 grade at the right tackle position. But this is the name, and you probably heard of him because he's been blowing up all day from yesterday and today. Right tackle Dalton Wagner.
Yes.
25 snaps, all at the right tackle, had an 89.3 grade at the right tackle position. Dalton Wagner, Severe. What is your take on Dalton Wagner? Here's a guy that now you have a tackle going down out for the season.
Yes.
As if we already knew this right tackle position had questions. It was up there for grabs. Now it just got a little bit thinner. Is Dalton Wagner a guy that could possibly beat out Illuminor? Because Illuminor did play out there.
Yes.
Is he a guy that could beat out Illuminor and possibly take a starting right tackle position?
I do not see him beating out Illuminor. I do not see that happening. Not to start the season. To start the season. But Dalton Wagner was an undrafted guy. I want to say he was the undrafted free agent that we paid more than anybody else, right? There were my 2 favorite undrafted guys we picked up was McClendon Curtis and Dalton Wagner. Mm-hmm. And save for a history of injuries in college, and I believe it was back injuries, if I'm not mistaken. But if not that, he's the guy that gets drafted. He's a guy that gets drafted. So, and it's not like dude is big as all get out, man. Dude is like a behemoth. I think he's like 6'7", 3 something.
I think Google had him at 6'8".
6'8".
I know I was hearing he could be 6'9". I'm like, That guy
Dude,
is a man. Like that's
dude is a
all I gotta
monster. Dude is a monster. Dude is a monster. So and you know, and he has some skill, man. You know, when I was watching tape, I forgot I was watching tape of a defensive player. I might have been Will Anderson. It might have been Will Anderson, and Dalton Wagner was holding his own, at left tackle.
Wow.
So he's a guy that I think he can have a future with his organization, and if Luminor doesn't clean up those penalties, man, I can see a situation where hey, after a few games, if he's not doing what he needs to do, then Josh McDaniels, he knows he has to perform this year, so he yanks him and he goes in a different direction. Most people think it would be Thayer Munford, but Dalton Wagner has put himself squarely into that competition, man. So you never know.
Yeah, yeah. And let's switch it over to the defense side of the ball. And as you talked about Isaiah Hearn, yeah, a lot of people gave him crap because his coverage, he was targeted 4 times. They were all completions for 74 yards, and he gave up a 118.8 quarterback rating. But like you said, I think got to go back and look at the game. For the most part, he was on his receiver. And then that deep pass by Sam Darnold, just a beautiful pass. You can't
There's nothing
defend
you can
that.
do. There's
You
nothing.
really
There's
cannot
nothing you can do
defend
in
that.
that play.
Yeah, you can't defend that. But other than that, Amari, two guys I want to point out: Amari Burney and Duke Shelley. And people may know where I'm leading with this. They had great grades. One for 3. He was targeted 3 times. There was 1 completed for 12 yards. He had a pass breakup, and he had a 46.5 quarterback rating when targeted. Duke Shelley had a pass breakup. Kind of an assist also.
Man.
He had 2 attempts targeted on him, 1 catch for 6 yards. He had a 56.3 quarterback rating. Now, with these 2 guys, the reason why I bring these 2 guys up, they need to go work out with the wide receivers.
Man.
Because maybe Duke Shelley more than Bernie, but like that was the lucky, like we should have shut these guys out. Now, we should have shut these guys out. And that's why I'm like, I think Shelley's going to get better. But again, the reason why I bring this up is it's not like they're batting it down or they're trying to pick it off. Like you said, they're trying to make plays. Yeah, of course, they're playing defensive back for a reason and linebacker for a reason. They can't play a wide receiver because they can't catch. But seeing that, like you said earlier, these guys are trying to make plays. Like that's a coaching thing. That Patrick Graham is hard. Like you go for the ball. You're not batting it down. You're going to go intercept it. Go for the interception. Seeing all the plays that they left out there and the plays that they made, tying that all together. Let's talk about this defense again, leading with Shelley, with Bernie, and then even guys like Jacorian Bennett, because we didn't hear his name, which I think that was a good thing. I don't even think he was targeted.
Exactly. So, when you're a corner and your name don't get called, bro, you doing your job. So But like you said, man, Duke Shelley and Amari Burney, they must have been hanging out with Trevon Merrick, man, because they letting these interceptions hit them in the hands and fall down. But yeah, man, I got Duke Shelley was a guy who performed really well last year, and at the end of the year with the Vikings. And Amari Burney is a guy that I've been hearing a lot of good things about from people that I know that are Florida fans, man. So he's converted safety. But the dude has, all the athleticism in the world, man. He has some solid cover skills, man. And a lot of times guys that are converted safeties, the main thing they struggle with is the physicality of playing a linebacker position. But thus far, it doesn't look like he has any of those issues, man. And so man, I just I have some high hopes for this guy, man. I don't want to make these lofty comparisons, but another guy that was kind of a late round draft pick that was not, he wasn't necessarily a converted safety, but he's a guy that played a lot of coverage, in college, and that was the linebacker that's across the field, man, that plays for the 49ers, who most people consider the best linebacker in the league, man. So now I think that we might have found something in Amari Burney, man, and I just want to give a big shout out to Dave Ziegler. Because his acquisitions thus far, the man knows what he's doing. The man knows what he's doing, man. And man, give a shout out to Patrick Graham because he took a lot of crap last year, man. I think unfairly so because a lot of times last year we were playing with a defense that was pieced together from street free agents and practice squad guys and guys that we grabbed off other teams' practice squad. So he never really had a healthy defense. So even before we even start the year, I think Avery was supposed to be our other starter. He was hurt before we even got to week 1, I
Yeah.
want to say. So so he was never really playing with the full complement of players. And now that he's going to get a chance to really do that, and Max has taken a huge leadership role with this team. You got Spillane and Diablo, who are leaders at that second level, and then you got Epps and Peters being leaders on the back end in the secondary. Man, I just think we have the necessary ingredients to surprise a lot of people on defense. If we can get some interior pass rush, man, like we did this game, right? Adam Butler was causing havoc in the middle of
Yeah.
the field. So if we can get interior pass rush from Bilal Nichols and from Jerry Tillery, man, I think this defense can be a unit that is much, much better than people anticipated being.
Yeah. Shout out to Elite. Yep, Max is setting the tone. This defense knows that they are considered the reason why we lose. Derek Carr is gone, so they know it's all eyes on them. And that is true.
Right.
There was,
Right.
DC, people could call him the scapegoat. I didn't. I said he's not the main reason we're losing. He's part of the reason we're losing. The other reason is this defense. This defense is not causing any sacks, not getting any turnovers. They were dead last in red zone,
Yes.
giving up, I think, 100% on touchdowns. So they were, and then you pair that with the terrible red zone offense.
Yes.
Like Lee said, DC's gone. This offense we know can score in the red zone. Like it has to work. Like it has to work. From Josh McDaniels' standpoint, that's another conversation. It has to work. But let's say this offense is going to work. They are going to get red zone touchdowns. That is where the defense is all eyes on them. Do you think they feel that pressure from not just Raider Nation, but from NFL media who view them as possibly being one of the worst defenses going into the 2023 season?
So I think what is going to make this defense better than people expect it to be is that I don't think they care about what people are saying on the outside. I think that drive and their motivation is coming from the guys that are in that locker room, right? Guys like Max, as Elite said, Max setting the tone. Like he's holding these guys accountable. That they're running after practice. They're doing the extra work, and it's not because of what Mike Florio or these fools are saying about him. It's because hey, this is the standard that we're going to set, right? You got guys like Marcus Peters. Like he for sure don't care what nobody says about him, right? It's like, yo, this is what we finna do as a defense because this is the standard that we expect as a Raider. This is what this is the standard. We don't go under that. Guys like Marcus Epps, right? Everybody talking about he's the guy that's basically being the quarterback in the secondary, right? Making sure guys are lined up. He knows his defense front to back. He just got here this offseason, right? And he already knows his defense front to back. So he's already a guy that's holding guys accountable. Devon Diablo, his rookie year, he was talking about how guys aren't working hard enough. Robert Spillane is another guy. All you hear about Robert Spillane from everybody is that dude's a dog. He lives, breathes, and eats football, right? So our motivation isn't coming from the outside, and I don't want external motivation, right? I want guys that are internally motivated because as soon as if you're externally motivated, as soon as people start giving you your flowers, you fall off. But when you internally motivated, that's the drive that's coming from inside, right? That's the fire that's inside of you to be the best possible player that you can be. And that can't be extinguished by somebody giving you compliments. That can only be extinguished by winning and being the best football player that you can be.
Yeah, and I think that's not going to get extinguished until these guys are raising a Lombardi trophy. Like,
exactly.
I think Max, I said Max, Bill's like, oh, he's going to be defensive rookie of the year. I'm like, to me, Max is like showing that what he's showing is he doesn't care about, well, I don't want to say he doesn't care because I don't know how he's feeling, of course, but that's not his priority. Like winning defensive player of the year or winning, an MVP if he's possibly to get it. But his more priority is I want to win to get to the playoffs and then get to a Super Bowl championship. That is his mindset. He is setting that mindset to the entire defensive unit and to the entire team. Max Crosby, like Lee said, is setting the tone. I don't think just for this defense, though. Max is setting the tone for this entire team. That we are striving for nothing more but a Super Bowl championship. Nothing less, nothing more. We want a Super Bowl championship. That is the end of it. That is what your job is here to do, is to help the Raiders win a Super Bowl championship. If you can't, you got to get out of here. And I think, and I like that. Get guys who want to, like you said, who want to be here, who have that internal flame that, hey, I want to be here because I love the game of football and I want to win. Not because I want to get the recognition from other people, because, and that's why I say this kind of leads me to my next point, or to our next topic, Josh Jacobs situation.
Yeah.
Just Josh Jacobs needs to sign this franchise tag. Now, I'm glad we got 13 people in the chat, because I know the comments are going to start flowing. Ezekiel Elliott got paid by the New England Patriots 1-year deal worth up to $6 million. And Dalvin Cook signed a deal with the New York Jets, and his deal is a 1-year deal worth $8.6 million.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, I know everyone knows, Josh Jacobs' franchise tag is $2.1 million if he signs that tag.
Yeah.
Severe. With these two running backs signing the tag, or signing their contracts, it shows the running back market. We've been talking about the running back market. It shows what the running back market is. Should Josh Jacobs just get in the building and sign that tag based off these other two contracts?
And not even based on off the other two contracts, man. Josh Jacobs should have signed that tag a long time ago, man. A long time ago. He is the lone holdout of the running backs, right? It was the big three everybody was really looking at was Pollard, him, and Barkley. Pollard signed up immediately, Barkley shortly thereafter, and now it's just Josh Jacobs. And then a little bit later after that, we heard that my man in Indianapolis, Taylor, was going to hold out. He ended his holdout and reported, and is going to report rather. So the only running back still holding out is Josh Jacobs. It's like, bro, you're not going to get more than what the Raiders are offering you right now. You're not on the open market, not right now, especially not this late in the game. Bro, you need to just sign this tag, bet on yourself, and even if you want to put in language where it's saying like, hey, you know what? If I sign the tag this year, you can't tag me again next year, right? Because technically they can still tag them again next year.
Yeah.
But that they can work out an agreement, within that franchise tag saying, if I sign the tag this year and I report, you cannot tag me next year. Want to put that kind of language in there? Or put that kind of language in there? You ball out. You want to go somewhere else and get a bigger contract? Now go ahead and do that. But at this point, man, you need to just go ahead and report. It's only a few weeks of training camp left, man. I mean, a little while training, not a few weeks, a little while training camp left.
Weeks until they gotta go to
like
Denver.
and 2 more preseason games. So it's like, bro, get on board, get in the building, get with your guys, man. Our 3 biggest leaders should be Max, Devontae, and him, right? Those should be the guys that are leading us, and now Jimmy G, because everybody's talking about how great of a leader Jimmy G is. But those are our guys, man. And Josh Jacobs should be in the building, building that chemistry with these guys. And the fact that he's not yet, and it's not like he's fighting a losing battle, right? You're not getting more than what there's really just, if it might be a situation where he's going to not report until right before week 1, because he doesn't want to go through training camp, because vets historically don't like going through training camp. But training camp is not just for getting in shape and learning the offense. It's for building that camaraderie with your teammates, man. And we got a lot of rooks. We got a lot of new guys on offense and defense. And Josh Jacobs is a guy that's considered a leader within this organization, man. So he should be out there, helping build this thing right.
Yeah, and this is the recent news coming from the Raiders. On Sunday, fans told Dave Ziegler to get a deal done with Josh Jacobs. Ziegler responded to the fans saying, "We'll make it happen." Fans told Ziegler to put some incentives in there. Who's to say he's not trying to do everything that he's trying to do? And the thing is, to go on top of that losing battle, Zamir was a hit or miss, but Zamir showed some flashes in there that he can still move the ball. Yeah. And if Zamir comes in next this Saturday against the Rams, and let's say Zamir, not a hit or miss, but he has a good game, a
Yeah.
decent game. That's if he plays. I don't know if he's playing.
Yeah.
But if he does play and Zamir goes in there and kills it, Sincere goes in there and kills it, Josh Jacobs, now you got to look at yourself like, I could potentially just lose everything. Because at that point, not only are you not going to get paid, like you might not even be on the Raiders. You may be an NFL free agent looking for an XFL contract now.
Yeah,
Like, the thing is, he's won it. Like he was like, you got to pay the best in the league. The thing is, the Raiders know he's the best in the league. The Raiders know he's the best in the league.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: you were the best running back in the league in 2022.
Exactly.
You be the best in the league in 2023.
Yeah.
That's the question mark that Dave Ziegler, I guarantee, asks himself: is can he be the best in the league? And the fact that he doesn't want to bank on himself is, for me, like you said, you're losing a battle that you're not going to win, because you're telling Dave Ziegler, like, I know I made the right decision to draft 6 running backs.
Yeah,
like he drafted like 6 running backs. He actually, in actuality, he drafted Zamir White, Britton Brown, and then he brought in, free agents, and then
he brought in Sincere, and
yeah. But the thing is, now you're making Ziegler look, I made the right decision by bringing in other running backs, because he already wanted to get rid of you, but now he wants to bring you back. But now you're trying to tie his hands together, and it's just not going to work. Ziegler's a smart general manager, and he's going to try to set Josh up with the best contract that works for him, but also works for the Raiders. The thing is Charles kind of leading on to something. JJ's looking real selfish, real talk.
Man.
He's looking real selfish.
Look, a perfect example, right? Perfect example and this is what leaders do, right? And this is when you believe in yourself, this is what you do. When Jimmy Garoppolo failed that physical, and the Raiders are saying, "Know what? If you get hurt again, or if this foot gets hurt again, you get nothing. You get nothing from us." And what did Jimmy G say? Cool, right. Sign me up for that, right? Because I know where I'm going to be at. So the Raiders are and this 10.1, that's guaranteed, brother.
Yeah.
So you don't want to sign up for, like, Jimmy G could have lost everything. Yeah. And now the Raiders are saying, we're guaranteeing you $10.1 million, and you don't want to sign up for that, to potentially get another. Like before last year, what was Josh Jacobs regarded as a running back? Top 10-ish, maybe borderline top 10, top 15, possibly. And you get in our scheme, with some of the players that we brought in, and now you win a rushing title, and now you're saying, oh, now you too good for what we giving you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
it's like,
I bring it up every
like
time.
that, come do it again.
Because the thing is, we wasn't screaming, pay Josh Jacobs at the beginning of 2022.
Nobody was. Nobody
people were like, man, why didn't we pick up his 5th-year option? A lot of people didn't complain about it. We're like, oh, we can maybe trade him, get some, maybe some draft capital out of him, or let him walk after the season. The reason being, guys, look at the 2021 season that he finished with. Josh Jacobs played in 15 games. He started in 14. He had 217 rushing carries, rushing for 872 yards with 9 touchdowns. He had 64 targets, 54 catches, 348 yards with no touchdowns. Ziegler's going based off that season. He's not going based off, okay, what could Josh Jacobs be?
Exactly.
Josh Jacobs, up to 2021, was an injury-prone running back. Yes, he played injured. People was like, but he played injured. He was a trader. That's the thing you guys are missing. He played injured. So he's banging his body up more than like resting his body, missing games, and resting his body. So Ziegler's now, then you go to last season. He was already hurt for those first 3 years because his rookie year, he dealt with injuries. I think he had like something with his shoulder in 2019. Yeah. And in 2020, I think it carried on also with the shoulder. And 2021, he missed some time due to an injury. In 2019, he missed 3 games. He played 13, but he missed 3 games. In 2020, he missed 2 games. In 2021, he missed 2 games, and he didn't start 3 of them. In 2022, he started all games, but he had nearly 400 touches. He had 393 touches last season. That's the most out of any player in
Yes.
the NFL of last season. Now,
Yep.
we're talking about a running back that already had injury issues. Yes, he played injured. He even played injured last year. He played on
Yep.
we remember that broken, I think it was a pinky that he had
Yeah.
against the Rams. I mean, severe. Is he looking selfish here? Like he's got, is Ziegler doing the right move here? Do you think
Man,
Ziegler's kind of doing the right move here based off
I,
the history?
I think Ziegler is doing the right thing. I mean, I think it was a point, like you said, before last season, the Raiders weren't anticipating him being on the team past this last season,
Yeah.
and they were setting themselves up for a future without Josh Jacobs. And then Josh Jacobs went out and had a career year and a contract year. No,
Yeah.
unsurprisingly, right?
Yeah.
But before last year, no, he went out there and he played. And people are like, oh, he played injured. But what good is playing injured if you're injured and ineffective while you're playing? If you're not effective while you're playing injured, then bro, sit your ass down. Like you're not helping
Yeah.
me. If you're not playing any good. And I think before last year, he had never had a carry longer than like 25 yards, I want to say. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, he's now he's breaking off these longer runs. He's in an offense that's very conducive to running back success. Josh McDaniels schemes up a hell of a run game, and
Yeah.
he has a career year. And now you come in and saying, hey, we're trying to get this contract done. You rejected, reports say you rejected multiple long-term deals.
Yeah.
So you put yourself in a position where you can only sign the franchise tag, and now you don't even want to sign that. So it's like, man, I don't know if he's looking selfish, but his representation, either he's being selfish, his representation is being greedy, or his representation is just dumb, because
Yeah.
they're not doing Josh Jacobs any favors, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's where I look at it. I mean, he's banking on himself. That also he's banking on that Zamir White doesn't go out there and pop off. My thing is
Yeah.
here with the 2023 season comes, you guys. People will say Raiders will not win on a running back by committee. Let's fact check this real quick. Almost every NFL team has a running back by committee. What, like even Dalvin Cook had a. That's why he got out of Vikings. Let him go
Yeah.
because that I think who's the running back? I think it's it starts with the M.
Madison?
Madison. Is it Madison? It might be Madison.
I think it's Madison. I forget.
Yeah, but that's why they let him walk too. He wanted the bank, but they're like, your backup's decent. We're paying him on a cheap deal. So what if that is the case with the Raiders? Zamir White, cheap deal, rookie deal, and he comes in, and the thing is, all the Raiders have to do is win. That's all they have to do. If the Raiders are winning football games and this running game, maybe it's not what it looked like last year with Josh Jacobs, but it's good enough to where, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't getting sacked a lot, getting pressure because they still respect the run game, and we're winning football games. That's the only way I see this thing playing out with Josh Jacobs, for him to leave the team and for Ziegler to move on from Jacobs, is if we have a good season and they feel comfortable moving along with Zamir White. And he had a pretty decent game on Sunday. If he has another good game on Saturday, and if they play him in the last preseason game against I believe it's Dallas, against Dallas, and he has another good game, Jacobs, we will see Jacobs sign that tag before week 1. And if he doesn't, then that job is Zamir's until Jacobs shows up.
I mean, Zamir had a hell of a first drive. It's just that, I was kind of pissed out at him because, he should have lowered his shoulder and broke that tackle for that touchdown on that second down play, man. And a few times later on in the game, I was like, bro, you gotta, he left a little bit to be desired. But all we've been hearing in practice is that he's the dude that's running dudes over, right? Like that's what they've been saying. Like, he's not a dude he ain't shying away from no contact. He's gonna run over you. So maybe it's a situation where maybe he was in the game, he was protecting himself a little bit, and when he's in practice, or in the preseason game, he was protecting himself a little bit. But in those joint practices, he was letting loose on guys. So, I don't know, but we'll see. But like you said, man, it's a situation where Josh Jacobs is not setting himself up for success in so far as and it doesn't just have to be Zamir White. We keep saying about Zamir White. We keep talking about just Zamir White, but if Sincere McCormick gets off, if Britton Brown gets off, if like Lord, God forbid Damian Williams has a resurgence out of nowhere, or Amir Abdullah, if any of these guys start, and that's the beauty of having a committee, because at that point you don't have to. It is not your run game is not wholly dependent on one player having a good game. It's
Yeah.
we're going to go with the guy that has the hot hand and he can carry us. The year before, like I keep saying this, the year before Josh McDaniels got to us, the Patriots were one of the best run teams in the NFL. They put up more rush yards that year than we put up last year, and they had three guys running the ball. None of those guys had over 1,000 yards, but they were top 10 in yards per carry, top 10 in rushing yards, and top 10 in rushing touchdowns. So you don't need one guy to do that. You don't need one guy to do that. It's a lot of that has to do with Josh McDaniel's scheme, and now we have a guy like Trey Tucker who have a guy like a gadget guy who we can use like the Chiefs used to use Dante Hall, or throw this, or like when we had Jacoby Ford, how we were throwing Jacoby Ford and doing jet sweeps and all this stuff. Now we can get really creative because we have that gadget, or even DeAndre Carter. If we want to use him in a similar type role, so you can really use the screen game and use these jet sweeps and all this stuff to kind of have the same effect on the defense that a good rushing game will have. And and now we got a quarterback that knows the offense, that's accurate over the middle of the field, that's not afraid to stand in the pocket and deliver deliver a throw on time and with accuracy. Like we're being set up for success. And I think Josh Jacobs can be the cherry on top. But you don't need a cherry on top of a Sunday for the Sunday to be good.
Yeah.
That's just a little extra, so he can either be that cherry on top and really put us over the top, or he can sit out and cost himself money and potentially get fined every week that he misses, man. So I don't think he's making a smart business decision right now. I don't think he's making a smart decision as a guy who was named team captain midway through in the middle of the season last year, because how he was in the locker room and how he's playing on the field, man. So I would hope that he just ends his holdout. And he's not like he's gonna be playing preseason games, but just in the holdout, get with your guys, right?
Yeah. And get ready for a Super Bowl season. But shout out to Charles Washington. He said, how many yards and carries did we have in the last game? Well over 20 carries and 70 plus yards. The carries we had as a yards, I can bring up the yards, but carries, I don't have that. We had 120 rushing yards as a team. Zamir White carried the football 13 times, Sincere 9, Amir 5, Damian 4, Aiden O'Connell 2, Trey Tucker 1, and Chase Garbers 1. But from the running backs, it was, 13, 9, 5, and 4. I mean, that's not a lot of carries if you're splitting that with the running backs. Again, I think it's like you said. We don't need like a cherry. We don't need a cherry on top to go out there and still be good. Like, this offense is already going to be good with the weapons that they have, and the running backs that they're going to roll with. I have confidence that we can do a running back by committee. And the way this offense is ran with, short intermediate passes, screen games that Josh McDaniels love to run, these backs that we got, I wouldn't even be surprised Damian Williams maybe makes this team somehow. I would not be shocked just because of the fit scheme that he brings. His speed, his receiving ability, but also his rushing ability. He can run the football. You give him a hole, he has that breakaway speed to run between the tackles. Shout out to Charles. He also said, "You guys see them big assholes in the game, bro." Pause, man. That's a big pause. And hey, either you win or you're out. And that's true,
bro. If Josh gets to running behind this offensive line, bro, in this running scheme again, I don't think he'll. And like I said, I don't think he's going to carry quite the same workload as this year. I think the Raiders have a vested interest in getting guys like Sincere and Zamir and even Amir Abdullah. I think they want to get them more involved. I don't think they want Josh to take as much of a pounding this year as he did last year. So his carries and his yards are going to probably come down, but he's going to be highly effective, and he's going to be fresher because these other guys are getting those extra touches, man. So I think, I think he can come back and have a hell of a year, man. And I just think I think he's making a grave mistake. And like you said, man, those are some big assholes. Pause.
They were. But anyways, you guys, we're over an hour. Shout out to everyone that pulled out. Shout out to my man Severe. Hey, real quick, before we get out of here, Severe, let the chat know where they can go find you, man.
Man, y'all can find me at the Severe Raider on YouTube, or the Severe One or Severe Raider on IG, man. And shout out to Raider Ed for getting your boy on here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime. Bro, we got to get like all four of us, a big Mike and Kane Town back on.
Man,
like,
yeah, man. We got to do it again,
fun,
man.
Because like I love debating. Of course, agreeing is fine, but that's what makes these shows short, and I don't like short shows.
Exactly.
But anyways, you guys, y'all have a good night. Have a blessed rest of your week. We're gonna see you guys actually back tomorrow night. I'm gonna be on with Nate. I'm gonna try to get him on. Hopefully, he's gonna be on. We're doing a fantasy football edition. Raiders Raiders Spotlight. So you guys know anyone who loves fantasy football, love talking fantasy football. We're going to be breaking the Raiders down, and if you guys should draft some Raiders players and some Raiders players, you guys should stay away from. But with that being said, you guys have a great night, blessed week. We'll see y'all tomorrow night for the fantasy show, Raiders edition. Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace.